What's the best way, Jeff, to beat? You know, it's becoming a pandemic. Mental health illness is becoming a pandemic.
Sure.
How can we beat that?
And it is. It's not to be underestimated. It's a pandemic globally, and there's so many things I think that exacerbate it and that add to the pressures that can lead to depression. And you know, I'm certainly no expert. My wife is more so because she is academically qualified in that department. But it's something that should be taken very seriously, and I think people need to feel able to talk about it. I think it's so important. If one feels depressed or concerned or anxious.
No, that was not my question. I have a lot of doctors that sit here. I want to know, how do you personally deal with a situation where something depresses you or upsets you? Reaction is very important. How you react to a situation is what's going to determine that healthy future for your mental self. How do you do it?
Okay, that's a great question, and I'm not too sure it works for me. And I remember reading about this somewhere a long time ago. In fact, one of the chaps I met in Australia told me this. He said, you know, there is the tendency, the inclination to become depressed or anxious and stressed about a situation. He said, when that happens, he said he uses the 5-second recipe. And I said, what's that? He said, I count backwards from 5 to 1, where I just stop, take a deep breath, and I count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I deliberately make a point. And he said it's mental discipline. It's the discipline of the mind. It's taking your mind out of that state that it was prior to the countdown, which could have gone in a negative direction. Get out of that and come out of the countdown thinking something else. Think something positive. Think about something else. There's always something else that's a better thought. Don't allow yourself to be, you're bound to be drawn into negative thought, but don't dwell there. Acknowledge it.
Because it manifests.
It manifests. So it's a form of mental discipline. And it's not the power of positive thought. That's a different topic. It can lead to positive thinking. Because you can't be positive about everything. Negativity is a reality. Challenge is a reality. Stress is a reality. And I have a lot of stress. All my life I've had stress. But it's how you manage that stress. Try and turn it into a positive force. It should never be destructive. The minute stress becomes destructive and you feel your senses getting the better of you, then it's a downhill trend. Stress is a challenge, and stress is there. Animals live on stress. You know, flight, fear and flight. Horses, buck. Everything's related to stress. They're alert. So you need stress to be alert, to be aware. But it should never be allowed to take you into a negative mindset where there's no hope. There's always a way out. And the other positive, realistic thought is, whatever you face today, think about it quickly and also come to terms with the reality that it's not the first time you've been in a similar situation. And you know what you worried about before didn't happen, or you got out of it.
I heard that. Half of the things, or maybe 90% of the things you worry about is never going to happen. So
and also it's something I try to do, and I tell my family as well. If you, I'm not saying ignore, don't be in denial, don't ignore what's happening around you, but just think about it quickly. Is there anything I can do right now to change the situation? If you can, then do it. If you can't, walk away.
Absolutely.
Concentrate on something else.
I learned that from you, Jeff. I literally learned. I learned from a lot of people. My guru, and everybody knows that, is Sadhguru. He's my teacher from afar. I love his sayings and his quotes and just his way of life. So it's not a religious thing. It's just a philosopher that I believe in his philosophies. But it's your strength. Last year, I had been through some mental, challenges, and I found you, and I met with you as well. And you are my inspiration. You are my inspiration. You are the person that I look up to the most physically that I've ever met physically.
Well, that's a very generous comment and statement, and I'm humbled by that. Thank you for that.
It's the truth.
And I'm always here.
It's the truth. That's why you always, as long as you make yourself available for me, I'm going to be, latching on.
Well, 95 minimum if I go by my family lifeline. So
from your lips
I'm
to
here for
God's
you.
ears,
I'm here
at
for
95 you'll still be around. Jeff, thank you so much.